Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl EJ. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you haven't been here before, please take a moment to smash that subscribe button and tap that notification bell. Don't forget to tap it. Really, really important. So tap that notification bell so you never miss a video that I upload here. If you are a returning subscriber, mwah, thank you so much for being here. I love you all. So today I want to talk about some of the things that we African people say to persons with disability. And guys, we just have to stop already. Before I get into the conversation, go make sure you get your cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a glass of water, or maybe some wine, and come on back and let's get on to the conversation. If you've been following my podcast, you know that I've been doing a mini series called Hear Me Out, where I'm highlighting the voice and perspectives of persons with a disability. So I want to share today some of the things that I've heard people within the African circle share or say about persons with disability. And guys, we just have to stop already. Let's learn, relearn, unlearn, and grow together. So the first thing that I have for you today is when people say things like, oh, what happened? You see a person with a disability, maybe they're blind or they're in a wheelchair. Now I'm talking about persons with visible disabilities, okay? And some of us say things like, oh, this is for my Nigerian people, okay? My Nigerian family, you know yourselves. And you say things like, what happened? What happened? Were you born like this? Is this the way you have always been? These are just not questions we should be saying, guys. We have no right to ask a person with disability how they happen to be disabled or how they happen to find themselves being blind or deaf or whatever the case may be. We have no right to ask that question. If they share that information with us, then great. But it is not our place to immediately use that as a pickup line or a line to start a conversation, to be asking questions like that. It's just isn't appropriate, guys. Let's just stop, okay? The second thing is, and this is for persons whose disability may be seen as mild or may not be visible. And people say things like, your own case is not bad, though. I know that sister. If you see her leg or if you see her hand, my Niger people, you know what I'm talking about, right? We can't do that. This is not a time for us to begin to compare that person with whoever's sisters or whoever's brother's sister or whoever that you want to compare them to, in the hopes that you are trying to be a source of encouragement, or you're trying to be positive, or you're trying to empathize with them. Guess what? We're not empathizing with that person with disability. Rather, we're minimizing your situation and we're comparing your situation and we're making them feel like they are less than. And that is not fair. And that is not kind either. Okay, so we got to stop with the whole comparison situation. Okay, the next thing that I have on here is for those our really spiritual people. I think we know ourselves. Okay. Now, some of us are like, maybe it's something your forefathers did, or maybe it's something that your father did, or your mother did, or somebody in your lineage. And next thing you know, they're beginning to tell you your whole ancestry. They begin to run a whole DNA on you, and they're telling you that it's something that somebody did somewhere, some concussion that some auntie did, one grandparent did in your backyard, in your village. They're telling you something, and they're telling you that your disability is as a result of something somebody else did. And so you need to go for deliverance. You need to go to some voodoo master somewhere. You need to go to some traditional healer, and that they can rescue you and get rid of the disability. Now, I'm not saying that people shouldn't believe in their native or natural healer. That's not what I'm saying. I'm a Christian woman. I believe in God. But what I'm trying to say here, that is not the space or right time to tell a person with disability that they are the way they are because of something somebody else did. It is cruel, it's unkind, it is just not fair. And I wonder if people say these kinds of things as well because of maybe misunderstanding of some spiritual wording. So I think about the Bible as a Christian woman that I am, and I wonder if people take John 5 out of context. So John 5 is where, the pool of Bethesda. Let me read it actually for us real quick, because I have it open down here. So John chapter 5, from, I believe it's from verse 2, where Jesus goes to a place in Jerusalem, and he's healing people. Jesus' reputation is growing. And so in this particular area in Jerusalem, there is a place where there is a bunch of people with disabilities, people who were sick, infirmities, things like that. And so they come there. Every now and then there is a stirring in this pool, and those persons who are the family members of persons with disabilities will, take them into that pool and they get healing. And there is something that Jesus said at the end when he heals that man at the pool of Bethesda, that I wonder if sometimes we don't know as Christian people and African people that we have misconstrued and taken that word out of context to mean some of the, or to translate into some of the things that we say to persons with disability. So really quickly, so here in the Bible, it says, now there in Jerusalem near the sheep gate, a pool, which in Aramaic is called Bethesda, which is surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. Here, a great number of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, the paralyzed. One who was there had been an invalid, so had been disabled for 38 years, okay? When Jesus saw him lying there and learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, he asked him, do you want to get well? And the man said, of course, I want to get well, but nobody can help me into the pool. Remember, I said that they need to get into the pool in order to get healed, okay? While I was trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me, okay? Then Jesus says, this is verse 8, then Jesus said to him, get up, pick up your mat and walk. At once, the man was cured. He picked up his mat and walked. The day on which this took place was a Sabbath. And so the Jewish leaders said that the man who had been healed, it is a Sabbath, the law forbids that you carry your mat. But the man replied, the man who made me well said to me, pick up your mat and walk. So keep going. So now where I want to emphasize that I think people misconstrue, misunderstand, and unconsciously maybe saying certain things from this verse is verse 14. Okay, so still on John chapter 5, verse 14, Jesus says, later, Jesus found him at the temple and said to him, so this is the man that who is now made able because he was disabled, went into the pool, he's better now. And so Jesus says to him, so later Jesus found him at the temple and said to him, see, you are well again. Stop sinning or something worse may happen to you. This is in the Bible, okay? John 5, verses 14. He says, stop sinning or something worse may happen to you. I'm reading from the NIV version. So I wonder if sometimes those of us who say, oh, it's something that your forefathers did, or maybe your father, your mother, or one of your auntie or grandmother, I wonder from most African people, whether maybe when we say these things, this could be attributed to this part of the Bible where Jesus said to that man that he should pick up his bed and go, and he should remember not to continue sinning so that nothing worse happens to him. This could also be attributed to maybe African dichotomy, right? Like just the way some of our traditional beliefs, some of our paradigms, some of the perspectives that we have within our culture sometimes make us feel that there are curses and things that maybe our forefathers did. And here we are, somebody who has a disability has to be with something that his forefathers did. So anyway, I wanted to point that out really quickly for us to take a note and to make sure that we understand this is not right, this is wrong, and we just need to stop with it already. Number 4 that I have on here is when people say, oh, you need to take a herbal treatment. Oh, have you tried this, Baba? Or have you gone to this clinic? Or have you tried, not clinic, but like a local medicine shop, okay? Have you tried this or have you tried that? Now, on my podcast, I have actually, my current episode, a lady who who talks about her son who has mild cerebral palsy. This is her only child, and she had people telling her things like, oh, you need to give him some kind of palm kernel ointment, palm fruit. If you don't know what is palm kernel, it's from the palm fruit, and you're telling her to make some kind of concoction and it will help get rid of the cerebral palsy that her son has. Obviously, we know that they're not going to be working. Okay, so we have to take a chill pill, guys. We just have to take it easy. When we are saying some of these things we are saying, we need to reflect, we need to think. And I'm hoping that through these conversations that I'm doing here, that people understand that we have to have a rethink and we can do better once we know better, okay? So another thing here that is very similar with the whole traditional healing is also the spiritual pieces where people say you're not a woman of faith, you're not a man of faith. You need to pray harder. You're not spiritual enough. You need a miracle to come and let's go to my prophet and let me take me to my pastor, or let me take you to this bishop or wherever. I'm once again not saying that you shouldn't believe in God and that you shouldn't stand by your faith. I'm simply saying that there is a place for medical intervention. There is a place for professional help in our lives, and we just have to understand that we are not saying that you should drop all your spiritual beliefs. What I'm saying is that you let both work hand in hand. Go see the doctor, go get professional help, and then, of course, if you gotta pray, please do. Please put prayer on top of it all, but it's not one or the other. So that's number 5 I have on there. Number 6, I don't even know how to say this one. For all those curiosity killed the cat type of people, those ones that are going to say, oh, how do they use the bathroom? I wonder if they have sex. How can such a person have sex? Or, you shouldn't be married though, because it's going to be very difficult for you. It's not your place. Please. My people, my brothers, my sisters, my kings and queens in the house, it's not our place to tell a person with disability that they can't be married, that, how do you have sex? How do you use the bathroom? It's not your business. Please mind your business. The same way you use the bathroom is the same way they use the bathroom. The same way that you want love in your life and you want to be married and you want companion, that's the same way that we all have to have companion and have peace and love. It's not for one person or a particular group of people and not the other. We have to have a place for love for all people. Okay, nobody has right to good living. We all have a right to good living. Number 7 is for those people that feel that persons with disability, they need to be yelled at before they can hear. My people, I'm sure that you know what I'm talking about. For those of us in the diaspora, maybe this is not super common, but for those of us who are home, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Because when I go home, I experience this a lot, is where a person who has a disability is getting yelled at. You're just flat out getting dehumanized, slapped around. All kinds of things may be said to them in the public space because of your physical disability. It is wrong, it is cruel, it's inhumane, it is despicable. We just have to stop these things already. My people, this rude attitude, speaking too loudly, yelling at people, just treating persons with disability like they are just less than, like you're not smart people, it's gotta go. We have to stop with that, and we need to stop with it like yesterday. So a lady on my podcast shared with me her experience living in Nigeria as a person who has partial hearing. The video is linked up here. Do check it out. Do also listen to the podcast where you get podcasts. She shares her experience, the bullying, the insults, the ridiculing, just the disrespect that she endures living as a person who is partially deaf in Nigeria, even all the way up to university. She attended Kogi State University, and she said she had experience with teachers yelling at her, calling her names, saying that she's not listening because she has a hearing aid, associating her hearing aid with an earphone, the regular earphone. Obviously, it's not. And even people on the streets when she's up and about doing her business, people randomly just, calling her names and saying things about her hearing aid and saying she should take it out, come on, that thing where you carry for ear, that kind of attitude. We gotta learn my brothers and sisters. We got to do better. We got to be better. So the last point I would like to share is people who act like disability is a disease or disability is some kind of contagious illness that will rub off on them. I had a lady on my podcast who shared that she's heard teachers or educators share that some parents don't want their kids to be in the same class as a kid who has a disability because they feel like it would somehow impact your own kid or somehow transfer to your own kid. If you are that person, if you are that parent, if you are that kind of individual, we just need to stop that already. We need to take this kinds of information that persons with disabilities share with us and use that to better our lives, use that to change the way we think, change the way that we relate with persons with disability. I'm sure that this is not just persons from Africa or Nigerian people who act that way, you know, who kind of like, don't bring your disability around me. Or, oh no, I don't want your child around me. I don't want to become like that child. You know, or they start to kind of act that way. Like, I don't even, guys, you know what I'm talking about. My point is, we are all the same people. We're all in this together, and we need to treat persons with disability with respect because they are people just like you and I. And as a Christian, you know, as a person of faith, we are taught to treat people with love and respect, and that's what we should be doing. And I'm really hoping that if you're watching this video today and you've been following my video and you come across a person with disability, that you treat them differently, that we treat each other differently, because we are one and the same people. Above all, we should always strive to treat everyone with respect. The way you would like to be treated is how we should go about treating somebody else. You know, treat your neighbor the way you want to be treated. And I think it's so important. I hope that we've learned something from what I've shared today, and that above all, if you cannot be a source of encouragement with your words to a person with disability, I beg by people, I take God beguna, then at least do not be a source of discouragement. If you don't know the right words to use, if you cannot speak positively or with respect to a person with disability, then do not be the person that discourages them with your action, with your words, or with the way you behave around them. Do not be that person that is a source of discouragement or that discourages other people. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you today. I wanted to share 7 things that African people say to persons with disability that we should never say and that we need to stop already. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've picked up 1 or 2 things that can inform or help you do better, change the way you're thinking, or maybe even just start the conversation in your own space and in your own circle. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share the video. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you enjoyed. And let me know your own thoughts as well, okay? Until next time, I'll catch you in another video. Love always, and remember to do what is right and kind. Take care.